Nowadays, women all over the world spend a lot of money to have this kind of body shape. The woman we are going to tell you about today had a body like that by nature, but she had to face a lot of abuse and harassment because of it. In short, even after her death, she was subjected to a lot of abuse. The troubles she had because of her huge back area were countless. This is really another dark aspect of African slavery. Today, we are going to tell you her tearful story. Stay tuned until the last second of this video to know the story of Sarah Baartman, who was exploited because of her body shape. Not many people in the world know much about Sarah Baartman. During her lifetime, she was known as the woman with the largest buttocks in the world. She was a slave woman of African descent. The cruel and inhuman treatment she received from her slave owners who owned her is indescribable. The cause of these troubles was the unusual position of her protruding buttocks. Because of this unusual feature, they put her on display in London to make money. We will tell you about that and what was done to her body after her death in this video. Sarah was born in 1789 into a Negro pastoral family on the banks of the Gamtus River in the Eastern Cape. From the day she was born, she had to face a life full of hardships. Her mother died when she was 2 years old, and her father died when she was a teenager, leaving her an orphan. Sarah's mother was a member of the Khoi tribe, which is known as the oldest tribe in South Africa. The beauty of women in this tribe was measured by the position of two body parts. The people of this tribe considered women with fair skin and wide hips to be extremely beautiful. Sarah's mother had large hips and a large butt. So Sarah inherited those body features from her mother. This is indeed different from the normal condition. This is called steatopia in medical science. A woman with this condition has a large amount of fat deposited in the fatty tissue of the buttocks and thighs. Sometimes, this fat starts to spread to the buttocks and thighs. As a result, women with this condition have a large round body shape. Sarah's shape was able to make the white people in the colonies happy. They considered Sarah as a human being and a sex commodity with a partially human form. Because of this, Sarah quickly became their target. As a teenager, Sarah went to work in a house where a family of Dutch origin lived in Cape Town. The head of the family was a doctor, also a member of the Royal Navy. His name was William Dunlop. She had already become a slave by this time and had been bought by William Dunlop while working for a farmer who had connections to the Khoi tribe. Sarah's problems, who came to serve in this house, increased several times. Dunlop, who had kept Sarah as his maid and slave for a while, took her to London, England. In the year 1810, William Dunlop and his colleague Henry Caesar were thinking of a way to use Sarah to earn an easy and high income. They speculated that if Sarah's large backyard was shown in public like a circus, they could earn a lot of money. Accordingly, they tried to get Sarah to agree to this job by flattering her. She also agreed to this with the aim of having an easier life. Dunlop and Cessus quickly drew up a contract and got Sarah's signature on it. According to this contract, they could put Sarah in public like an exhibition anywhere. They told Sarah that if she exposed her body in public like this and provided entertainment, she could inherit a comfortable life very quickly. Sarah, who could not read or write and was loyal to her master out of fear, signed it without knowing much about the contract. Although she did not understand the contract properly, she trusted her master. Dunlop claimed that the contract would free her from slavery, but this was a complete lie. Sarah spent the rest of her life as a slave. After signing this contract, Dunlop and his partner planned shows to show Sarah in England, Ireland, and other countries of Great Britain as they pleased. They made a lot of money from each of these shows, but they gave Sarah an unimaginable amount of money. With it, she could barely feed herself. In these shows, Sarah appeared half naked. While her back was completely naked, she was only dressed in half-naked clothes. The audience was allowed not only to look at her, but also to touch her body parts. But Sarah was unable to resist these in any way. She had to walk, sit, and dance in any way her master or the audience said. Whites viewed her with disgust but at other times as a recreational object. In fact, she was treated like a beast. In September 1814, Sarah Bartman was sold to Rao, a Persian breeder living in France. By this time, her popularity had allowed Dunlop to offer Rao a higher price. History says that the reason for selling her was because some people had petitioned Dunlop. At that time, there was no place for black people in England, but several people who looked at her with a humane eye had petitioned her. That was about her unlimited exploitation. However, due to the inconsistency in the contract, this petition was rejected in court. Accordingly, Sarah once publicly stated that she was doing all this willingly, which was to Dunlop's advantage. People who looked at her sympathetically kept saying that she was afraid of Dunlop and that she was under his influence. It was also apparent that she had problems communicating what she wanted due to her poor English. In the midst of all this, Sarah's new owner, Rao, continued to organize Sarah's shows. On one occasion, he put her in a cage with a baby rhinoceros and ordered Sarah to behave as he said. In the meantime, some sexual behavior had occurred. After this chain of events, Sarah, who had a mental breakdown, became addicted to alcohol. In the meantime, it is said that she also turned to the profession of a prostitute. Somehow, through this, she meets a French Surgeon General who is close to Napoleon Bonaparte. He is a scientist. He was also in charge of the section of the wild animals kept in the National Museum of Natural History of France. His name is Georges Cuvier. He was very interested in Sarah. He wanted to use her for scientific experiments. According to George, her behavior was very ape-like. After finding Sarah, he designed several experiments using her. He drew her behavior. The world today considers these drawings to be the best example of science-based racism. George wanted to show that the people of Africa were genetically closer to apes than to humans. For this, he even compared their bodies with those of apes. At one point, he even had to examine Sarah's private parts. But she refused. Because of this, she was troubled by George. Sarah, who had a troubled and unhappy life, began to fall ill with George's bad treatment. Finally, she contracted pneumonia. Because of this, Sarah Bartman passed away forever on December 29, 1815. At that time, she was 26 years old. Even after her death, she kept her body in her possession and continued to conduct experiments. In 1817, George took steps to have her body dissected using plaster of Paris and put it on public display. Accordingly, he published a study report in which he stated that black people are biologically inferior to white people. In 1975, her prepared body was exhibited again in Paris. Amidst the opposition of many, the authorities took steps to quickly remove it. Sarah's body parts were in France until 1994. Somehow, in 1994, Nelson Mandela became the President of South Africa. Nelson Mandela proposed to France that Sarah's body be handed over to the South African government. But even though France agreed, it took some time to implement it. Finally, South Africa received her body in 2022. Finally, on Women's Day that year, Sarah Bartman's body was buried in Cape Town. It was in her birthplace. Former President Thabo Mbeki named her grave as a National Heritage Site. This incident of Sarah Bartman is an incident that clearly shows the lack of care for black people during the colonial period. This fate that befell her is an indelible black stain on humanity and history.